This is the continuing saga of putting an LS4 V8 into a Corvair. Here's how I decided to install a radiator in a car that originally never had one. I started with the fan from a 1998 Lincoln Continental and found a radiator to fit it. Pushing 4500 CFM, I think it's the most powerful single fan ever made for a factory car. The dual pass radiator is from Jegs and is the best that China offers. The dimensions are 26 by 19, which means the core is 22 inches wide. This fits the 22 by 19 fan perfectly. That's not to say that it's a bolt-in operation though, as the radiator needs mounts, the fan needs mounts, and both the inlet and outlet need to be relocated. I'll start by removing the inlet-outlet tubes. Forcing air into one end of the radiator helps to keep the shavings out, sorta. After watching the video, it occurred to me that I need to up my safety game by at least wearing gloves. After hacking off the outlets, there was final surgery on the fan shroud to make sure it fit tight.
Yeah, babe, hold the vacuum here.
I think the best thing to do is to make some threaded aluminum bungs that weld onto the radiator to support the fan shroud. Quarter 20 bolts will be enough. Cutting a relief in the bung so that it's not too thick where it's welded to the thin radiator. The gap was made on purpose. Since I need both inlet tubes to be 1.5 inches, I need to make one inlet tube since it was 1.75 inches. Here I'm fussing with the outer ridge. Then turn the main portion to 1.5 inches. Cut it exactly, roughly 20 degrees with a cold saw. The reason the inlet tubes were relocated was because they were too close to the shroud, so I moved them outward. That's quite a gap to fill, and it's probably not going to be pretty. With the modifications done, I'm going to dry fit it together and see if it, works so far. This would have been a lot easier if I had used an all-aluminum Lincoln Mark 8 radiator, because the fan mounts would have already been welded in, but I couldn't find one. Now I'm going to draw out the preliminary hole for the fan exhaust. Using magnetic flexible rulers and other flexible drawing devices helps here to draw out patterns on irregular shapes. Time to make some noise. Here, I'm walking through the shop. I guess I could have cut this part out. Alright, how am I going to mount this thing? I need a break so I can think. I'll use a blowtorch later to pop some holes for the air inlet, but I'm not really worried about that right now. I just want to get the thing mounted. My first thought was to mount it semi-upright with the top tilted back a little, like a Corvette. As it turns out, the fender seams are parallel, so I can use them to get the final hole squared in. A template representing the final size hole was made and the pattern drawn in. Then I started making a lot of noise again. Something like this. I don't know. I'm still not crazy about the location. Update. There's been a change of plans. If I mount the radiator almost horizontal, I don't have to even worry about ducting the back side, as it will just blow straight down. If you're wondering what all that weight is above the radiator, it's to counterbalance the engine weight on a 2-post lift. The body is irregular, and it would be nice to have a flat plane for mounting, so these templates were made and transferred over to steel plate. I'll start by putting the bend in the plate, and then I'll cut it in the bandsaw. Fits like OJ's glove. Weld nuts are nice because they don't have any plating and they have a nice centering design. You can see how the hole funnels into the threads for easy starting. These nuts were welded on 2 sides, but I didn't get any video. Using 2 pieces of angle iron to act as a fixture for the 2 ends of the radiator mount. They are distanced according to how wide the radiator brackets will be. Now the final fitment can be done. I didn't quite nail this contour, so I made a replacement patch. Thin sheet metal is best welded with a MIG. Plan on breaking out this sander. You're going to need it. No video of the pieces being welded in, but I will say it needed a lot of cleanup. Okay, we're on the home stretch. I just need to make some aluminum tabs for the radiator. There is still more welding to be done on this, but here it is now anyway. I used the softest durometer silicone isolators offered on the McMaster site. This is enough to get it running, which is the first goal. I left the 45-degree picture frame cut-ins so I can add on to the front and back when I know what I'm going to do. So you can see the fan blows straight down and doesn't need any shroud. You can also see the start of the front suspension, to be followed up when I get all the parts. A little teaser for an upcoming chapter. I grafted in a Flaming River steering column, and it only took 4 days. And what's up with that big ugly pipe?